Hi, I'm Amber. My book talk was on The Book Thief. This book was really interesting. It was written in a cool vantage point. It was telling the story of Liesel's life through the narrator of death. Um, when Liesel was young, her she was taken from her family and put on a train with her brother to go live in a foster family. And while she was on the train, her brother died from life causes like being extremely weak from not eating. And so her brother was buried in a cemetery, and she went to his burial. And while she was there, she found the gravedigger's handbook, which she took home, and but she couldn't read. So this book gave her the drive to learn how to read. And while she went to her new foster family, she was able to go to school and learn how to read and write. And she also found out that her mom had gone missing, and she eventually put together that it was because of Hitler, and that with this whole Nazi thing going on, that he had taken her and put her in a concentration camp and either did that or just killed her. And so at Hitler's birthday celebration, people are burning books on the side of the road, and this really, hurt Liesel because she just loved reading. She loved books so much, and she wanted to protect them. So she stole some of them and she read them and cherished them. And she began to hate Adolf Hitler for doing this to books, and she began to develop an anti-Hitler feeling, which was bad because she lived in Nazi Germany and she could get in very big trouble. And her stepdad, or her foster father, told her all this and explained to her what would happen. So Liesel, she continued to be with her foster family, and while she was there, she ended up becoming acquaintances with the mayor's wife. And the mayor's wife would allow her to go into her library and read books that Liesel wanted to read. And this also, just helped drive Liesel's desire for reading. In October, Liesel, her new father Han, there was the Jew parade, and Han felt led to give one of the Jews a piece of bread because he looked extremely weak and hungry. And both him and the prisoner were whipped by a Nazi guard for doing this. What also come out of this situation was that Han was sent to a Nazi. He was sent into the forces, so he had to now work for Hitler, and he had no choice. So he came back because he was injured in a bus accident when Liesel was 14. When she first got there, she was 10. And everything was kind of getting back to normal. And the lady that had given the books to Liesel and let her read in her library, she gave Liesel a book that Liesel named The Book Thief. It was an empty book, and Liesel, she would write all of her stories and thoughts in it. And so while she was in the basement writing one day, her street was bombed by Nazis, killing everybody who was in the house. So all of her loved ones were killed. And she was given up to the police forces because no one knew what to do with her. She was the only one left, and no one had any connection with her. So the woman that let her read the books in her library, she took her in and made her a part of her family. And this book kind of ended sort of abruptly, and it ended by the narrator death, telling that Liesel lived a happy life, and that death gave the journal back to Liesel, because when the explosion happened, Liesel dropped the book in the basement and lost it. So death gave back the book and then took her soul from her body. So, at the very end, you see that Liesel lived a happy life, even though she went through so much tragedy and so much, depression in her life. She still was able to make it through and live a happy life in the end. and died happily. So overall, it was a good book. I would recommend it. It was a longer book, but it was a decent read. Um, so that's my book talk. I would totally recommend this book, and I hope that you read it. Thank you.